Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Dalia, and today we're once again back on my new island, Guava, which is a tropical city core island, and today we are going to be building behind my plaza. So I had to start in my plaza because my villagers were all lifting weights and working out, looking super cute. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today, and I'm really excited to get started. So let's leave my villagers alone and head off to the area where we're going to be decorating today, and I'll also show you the island progress we've made so far. So today like I said, we're going to be decorating behind my plaza. There's Boots looking so cute, and in my first building video for this island we made my entrance around my plaza. So this is kind of the vibe for the island. It's very tropical, it's very colorful, using a lot of warm tones, and today we're going to be decorating behind my plaza. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment down below, and subscribe if you guys would like to see more videos from me. And yeah, so anyways, get yourself a snack and a drink, get yourself comfortable and cozy, and we got a lot of work to do. So without further ado, let's get started. Like I said, we are going to be decorating behind my plaza today, so basically I didn't really quite know how I wanted to make this build. All I know is that I saw these really cool kind of beach perspective like layouts where like people created like fake beaches using the fake water paths, and I wanted to create that myself. I do have a water path that I'm going to be using for this island to create a bunch of like fake water beach builds around the island. So that's kind of like the basic idea I had, and I wanted it to be behind my plaza, so I figured why not just start. I have inspiration for this build, so might as well make it while I had the inspiration. So I'm just going to be building up a cliff directly behind my plaza, and basically it's going to have like, we're going to have an incline to the right of the road, and then there's going to be an incline that leads, like I said, the incline, and then we're gonna have kind of like a boardwalk directly behind the plaza and a lookout to a fake beach. Boots, if you get in my way, please move. Please move. Thank you, much appreciated. So yeah, so that's basically the idea. You guys will see it come together. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this build took a really long time to come together. I worked on it for like 3 days. It doesn't look like a lot because the build itself is not that big. Well, it does take up a big amount of space, but it doesn't look like it takes up a lot of space. But when I tell you, it took me, I don't know, it took me a long time. This is my first time doing a city island, so it's gonna take a while for me to find my own rhythm for building this kind of island, because this is my first time creating a theme as structured as this. So yeah, we're just extending the second tier a little bit and then extending the road again. Another thing that's been really interesting for me is figuring out how these road paths work, because when I tell you, they're really not that easy to put down. So and then I went on to the second tier. Here, like I said, it's going to be kind of like a boardwalk, and I'm just placing more pathing down. Any creator codes and custom design codes you see in this build, I will have listed down below. Not today, but I have to, because I have to compile all of my custom designs together. I have quite a few saved already, so that will be coming up in the next like 2 videos or so. So right now I don't have them listed, but I will have them listed in the future, I promise. I will say that the main road that I am using for this island is created by Colin.crossing on Instagram, and if you haven't seen his roads before, I've used them on another island of mine in the past. He's an amazing designer and creates incredible roads. So yeah, now I'm just putting this simple panel design directly behind the plaza. This is just going to act like a cover for the cliffs, obviously. And then I'm just replacing the pergolas that I had removed. Thankfully, the pergolas were able to be replaced with the custom designs behind them, which I really love. And then I'm just placing fencing along the rest of it, just to kind of, you know, fill in that 0.5 gap between the plaza and the cliff. And yeah, I think it looks really, really good, honestly. And then I'm starting to work on the beach. Now this is the part that I was the most excited to decorate, creating this fake beach. So I'm placing down a lot of sand pathing, and I thought this was going to be like a really small amount of sand, but no, this took me like 5 minutes to place down. And I even extend the sand pathing the more I decorate. So that was a lot of fun, but I just, you know, I wanted it to like, you can kind of see what I mean. I want this to be a perspective kind of build. So you look up here and you see a peach tree and cliffs behind it. We're going to get rid of those things. So then I started placing down the water pathing. So this water path is amazing. As you can see, I have the whole path downloaded. I love it, but I do actually end up changing it by the end of the video to another path, which you will see me download later on. I really do like this path, but I think the water is a little too detailed for me. Like, as you can see, it has a lot of detail with the waves and everything, and it just wasn't quite matching how I wanted the water to look for this build. So I do actually replace it with the original water path that I had downloaded in my first video, when I actually talk about how I change it to another water path. By the end of that video, I've changed it back. Now that I've actually officially used the path, I've come to realize that I want something a little bit more simple. So while this is an amazing path, and I will leave the creator code for this path down below, I just decided I wanted something a little bit more simple. So it is really, really nice, as you guys can see. But like, this is the one I actually replace it with. It's a lot more simple. There's not a lot more detail in the water. As you can tell, the edge pieces are basically exactly the same, but a little bit darker. But this is what it looks like after I changed it, and honestly, I just think it looks a lot better. It looks a lot more realistic, and yeah, I like it a little bit more, just for the idea that I had for this build. But yeah. Anyway, after doing that, I do go back throughout the course of the video and, like I said, extend the sand pathing. And I promise you guys, by the next video, my island will be flattened, so all the cliffs you see behind me will be gone. But anyway, then I extended the cliff a little bit further back, next to the road, and I'm just adding pathing along it. Once again, this is going to be kind of like another boardwalk going up along the street, although I do end up making it a little bit smaller by the end of the video when you see how I change the cliffs around the area. Then I'm just placing some hedges behind the resident services area. I really like the height that the hedges give right up against the fencing, and I know I'm missing a fence right there. I do not have one at the moment. I do add one by the end of the video, I promise you. But yeah, and then right here, because this is meant to be like a perspective shot, I'm placing these safety railings as like a makeshift fence. I did use a couple versions of fencing before deciding just to go with the safety railing. I like how it really does look like a railing that you would have in an area like this. It kind of just fits it perfectly. So yeah, and as you can see, like, the perspective shot looks really, really cool. And I just like how it's gonna look when it's all filled in with like coconut trees and everything. And then I'm just extending the pathing even more by the ocean. right now I don't have this area built by the end of the video, but at the very end I do place some, what's it called, deck pathing, because here I eventually will be creating like a fishing dock for 1 or 2 villagers. So right now I'm just placing down this white deck, just so I can got like an idea of what the area would look like. Look at Boots trying to catch the bug. Poor Boots, he'll never be able to catch it. So sad. But yeah, I'm just kind of filling in the area just to kind of see what it'll eventually look like. I was originally going to decorate this, but the build ended up being so big that this is like an entirely new build by itself. So yeah, I'm just placing that pathing down just to kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. And then I realized that the ocean was still too small, so I'm just extending it and fixing it a little bit on the edges here. And like I said, this build is not complete, so you will see that I don't extend past like the left side of where I built today, because the build was just too big. I couldn't do all the things I wanted to do, and it just became very overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie to you. So after just placing these fencing down, which I love this white fence, like I think this is gonna become one of my favorite items to use. It's very city. I ran around and placed these like bird shadow designs on the sand. I love this path design code so much. It's so cute. I do need to find a couple of more sand designs to use, like seashells and things like that, but I don't have any right now. And then I started placing some of the coconut trees. I wanted there to be a lot of coconut trees in this area in particular, because this is really not meant to be an area accessible to islanders like so easily. So I wanted it to be very overgrown, and just have like a lot of coconut trees and weeds and things. You will see me using wheat fields later on in the light pale green color, which I think matches like beach grass really well, if you know what I mean. And yeah, and then the last little bit I decorate in this area over here is just placing this pathing down. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I absolutely hate how the path cuts off with the sand pathing, which you will see in a second. But I'm probably gonna putting tons of items, and like right there, that bugs me.
It is so bad.
So I'm probably gonna have to place like a villager home or tons of like storefronts or something around this area to cover it up. But yeah, that's how I left it there. And you will see that I am wearing a diving suit for a little bit, because I went diving to grab some seaweed, because I realized that I need tons of seaweed for this island. So I'm going to be doing a lot of diving in the foreseeable future to get some seaweed. But yeah, so I just spent the next few minutes decorating this beach area. Like I said, it's going to be very overgrown, and I'm going to be using tons of these wave breakers, because it's meant to like prevent the water from coming up to the area where people are looking out over the ocean. Placing tons of shells down, and you get the gist. Just kind of making this area look very lush and really pretty as an lookout area. And then just adjusting where I see fit. I do go back later on and stunt some trees as well, and I'm planting a couple of shrubs as well. I love that we actually get to plant shrubs on the sand pathing, because we can't plant shrubs on the actual beaches on our island, so at least you get to do it like kinda by using the sand pathing. But yeah, I really like the way that this area turned out. It's very I don't know, it's really cute. It's very tropical and beachy. Yeah. So then I placed a tourist telescope, because like I said, this is meant to be a lookout area, and I just like look at the area from up above. It looks really good. And like I said, I did time travel quickly just to stunt some of my trees, because I like the idea of having like different heights for the palm trees on the beach. I think it adds a little bit more, especially when you're looking down at the beach from up above. So yeah, after doing that, I started decorating this area. Now I know I wanted it to be not too cluttered, nothing too busy. So I decided that the bistro tables would be the perfect kind of like, you know, it's a lookout area. People are sitting here. You can sit here and drink some coffee, look out over the ocean. And I decided to pair it with the natural chairs. I hate how there's like nothing that perfectly matches the bistro tables with any of the chairs in the game. But I definitely think that the natural garden chairs do look pretty good with the white bistro table. So that's what I chose to place, and I think it looks really nice. Then I wanted everything to kind of be parallel and matchy on this boardwalk, so I placed a garden or a plant partition, and then some plastic, what are those things called? Plastic benches. And then, yeah, moving on to this area here, I wanted to just fill the space in, so I decided to make a little magazine and newspaper stand. I did lose a little bit of footage of me decorating it, but I ended up actually going back and changing it later on anyway. And I really like the way that that little area turned out. I think it actually looks really, really cute. And then I'm just placing a bunch of street lamps around too. I need to remember to place street lamps in areas. Because it's not an item I decorate with all the time, so I have a tendency to forget. But because this is such a structured area and this is a city island, I'm definitely going to need to remember to place them down more often. And yeah, then I just went back and finished up the little stand. I think this area actually looks insanely cute, and then I just put like a vintage stool in that little green color. As you can see, this area is very gray and white, so I'm creating like little pops of color with some of the furniture items, and I think it looks really, really good. Now, taking a step back from that area, I decided I wanted to extend the street, so I just removed some of the custom design pathing I'd placed down before, and I think this area here is going to be a little villager neighborhood to the right of where I'm building here, so I'm just creating a little bit of a road just kind of start that area. That most likely will be my next build. No guarantees, but probably, or at least the next few. And then because this is such a weird spot, and because I don't like the fact that the road is uneven, now that I have this cliff on the left side, I decided to just cut off the road, and I'm going to be creating a tunnel using the castle gate. So I'm just quickly extending up the cliff once again, and then just decorating the area. I placed down some palm trees. Like I said, the road is not even on either side, so I'm not able to place a palm tree on the left side of the road. So instead I started placing down some trucks and cars and things. This truck actually ends up being too big for the area, so I do replace it later on. But yeah, anyway, so for this tunnel, I'm using a curtain partition that I customized in the black, and then the castle wall and castle gates. So I think this actually looks really, really good. I tried to create something like this on my fall island, and it didn't work out. So I really like the way that this worked out though. I actually think it looks really, really good. And then I'm creating a little sidewalk on either side of the road here. So I'm just replacing the pathing that I placed down, and then putting crosswalk, street things, crosswalk signals. And I'm going to be using a couple of different color variations of this crosswalk signal because they do come in a couple of really nice colors. I've so far used the yellow version, but I think the green one like adds another pop of color, and I really like it. I'm definitely going to utilize the crosswalk signal sign a lot on this island, which is a really weird thing to say, but I like the realism that an item like this gives to a build like this, and it's been a lot of fun decorating with all these new items that I didn't really decorate with in previous islands because I didn't ever do builds like this before. So I'm just placing fencing down along the road because I really can't do much else in that area. And yeah, just kind of filling in the space and matching what I had already decorated in the previous build, placing down the curved street lamps in areas that made sense. And yeah, then I came up here and just placed some more pathing. I really like creating these areas that have different paths, and I really like this cobblestone one that I found. I don't know what I'm doing up here yet. I think this is going to be an area where I might maybe have like a fountain or something, but for right now I just left it blank because, like I said, this build got way too big and I just wanted this area to be completed at least with pathing. So I do have another design for like this one tile stone, so I'm just changing up the pathing, and that, like you can see, it's kind of like a transition area, which I really like. And yeah, then I just left it at that because I really didn't want it to take up too much of my time in this build because I had other things I needed to finish. At this point, I've been working on this build for like 4 days and I was getting kind of angsty and just really wanted it to be done. So yeah, and then in this little area here, I'm just gonna plant some trees. So I planted 2 palm trees, but then changed my mind and changed one of the palm trees to an orange tree because I want some diversity with my flora and fauna. And then I'm placing down a couple of plants. And like I said earlier in the build, the color scheme for this island is very warm tones, so oranges, pinks, purples, some yellow, and I'm really liking the color scheme that I've chosen so far. I think it's definitely coming together and giving the island a lot of pops of color that I really love. And yeah, I did ask you guys in my previous video if you prefer if I use the light variation of the streets that I'm using right now or the dark, and the majority of you said the dark streets, so that's the one I'm sticking with, which is like that darker street path that you guys have seen me using. And yeah, so I really like it. I think that definitely gives a nice contrast to like the sand and the water, and it definitely makes all the other colors pop too, which I really like. So we're almost finished with the build. The last thing I was doing was decorating this area here. I had no idea what to place here, honestly, but then I decided maybe like this could be a bicycle trail. So I placed a couple of bikes down just to act like a bike rack, kinda, using the rope partitions. And yeah, at this point I was just filling in the rest of the spaces. I was pretty much finished with the build and really liking the way that it turned out. So I placed 2 more plastic bunches here. Like I said, I don't decorate this area here at all, but I just kind of wanted to complete the transition. So anyway, yeah, we are officially finished with the build, and I can't believe we're finally done because it feels like it's been a very, very, very long time coming, like days of working on this build. So without further ado, I'm really excited with how it turned out, and I can't wait to show you guys the final product. So let's go check it out. Alright, that is everything for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I'm having a lot of fun decorating this island so far, and honestly this is probably my favorite build that we've done so far, even though we've only done 2 builds. So I hope that you guys liked it as well. If you did, don't forget to leave a like on the video, as well as subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any future videos I make. And yeah, I will be back later this week with another build on my other island, but another build for this island will be coming really soon. So I hope you guys all have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!